we got the surprise of the league. And when I say surprise of the league, when we announce this guy, it's just one name, and you got to be very rare, no pun intended, with his rare roses hat on, to be recognized by one name. I got Puka with me. And when I say Puka, everybody, you say LeBron, you know what that is. You say Luka, you know what that is. You say Kyrie, Puka now has become, everybody knows who Puka is. So Puka, what's up, bro? I appreciate you joining me. How you feeling?
Life is good, TJ. What's up, my guy? That you put it like that, that's kind of crazy. A nickname coming to life like that.
So you've never really thought about when they say Puka, they relate that to me, meaning yourself, just one name. Nothing, with me it was TJ Houshmandzadeh, Chad Johnson, Calvin Johnson, but you have Puka, and let's just be honest. You've earned that shit to where one name, you know who I'm talking about. How does that feel?
It's surreal. It's kind of a crazy feeling. It's like you put it in like the categories of like, shoot, I've been a huge LeBron James, like LeBron fan my whole entire life. Like I'm a LeBron stan. Like I would go out there and say that, like to kind of have that, to be in a similar status of like how people communicate about you is freaking is dope.
So the fact that, did you see the interview where LeBron said Puka Doncic? Did you see that? In what did that mean, or for you hearing LeBron refer to you as Puka Doncic in the interview?
Just to hear LeBron James to say the words Puka come out of his mouth, like it was something I dream of. Like I never my siblings sent it in our family group chat, then my mom sent it in the group chat. So I'm getting messages from other people, and then I'm like, okay, I peep it out. I'm finally watching it on my own, and he's like, yeah, they got Cooper Kupp out, but they've been having Puka Doncic going crazy, and I'm like, no, like I'm like screaming at the phone, I'm screen recording, I'm screenshotting it, like, and then like you see it on LeBron's story, just like I'm out here telling Cooper Kupp like I'm like I don't know, in a weird sense, like as somebody like I would, if I were to have a poster on the wall of anybody in my room as a child, like it would have been LeBron James.
Y'all pretty much on the same. Y'all both superstar athletes in Los Angeles, so I mean, you probably gonna get an invite to one of these Laker games when I say we, when we win this championship this year. I'm gonna read something to you, and when I read this to you, I want you to tell me what's the first thing that comes to your mind after I'm done. Okay?
Yeah,
46 catches, 572 yards, the most in the history of the NFL of any receiver in his first 5 games, and that's you.
blessed. That's the first word that comes to my mind. That is blessed. Like I don't know, it's surreal. I just think of all the things that have happened and just the opportunity and the situation I came into and the people that have helped me get to where I'm at right now. Like, and everybody, like all the little influences and just how it's all worked out. It's surreal. I'm blessed.
And so a lot of people now, they know that we train together for the combine pre-draft process, right? And I get asked a ton, what did you do to help prepare them? And I'm gonna be honest. I tell people this all the time. I said, I didn't do much. Puka is just naturally talented, but I'm sure there's very small things. Because if you were asked, if you suck, there's nothing I can do to help you. I'll never ever take credit for what you've done because you have done it. But now that we're done, you tell me, what did I do in the offseason that may have had an impact on how you carried yourself going into training camp and thus far in your rookie season?
Yeah, just the competitive edge and just the urgency. I feel like that you brought to just me and what maybe two other guys working out on the football field of like, and I think of like obviously I'm talking about Mike Wilson, like somebody who you got to train with for a really long time, like seeing where I thought I had my standard for myself and seeing that get raised every single day because of the person I was able to go train with and like the confidence that um just doing like running routes and then doing the drill work that okay, if I'm running a curl route, this drill work is specifically getting me better at this curl route. So like feeling like okay, what I'm doing is making like I'm seeing the difference, like what it's making. Like sometimes with working out, like especially lifting, and like there's always just like the delayed uh the delayed, like what is it, gratification they call it. Like I don't get the reward until later, but it's like, okay, if we're working curl routes on Monday, like on Tuesday when we ran curl routes, like actually running routes with the quarterbacks, like I noticed like I'm getting on my break faster, so it helped build the confidence, and like the confidence is trying to carry that out through training camp was a super big thing.
Now, in the pre-draft process, I noticed this, and I'm actually noticing it now more and more the more I'm looking at you. You smile a lot, and now that I think about it, every time we would train, we running around, you're smiling. We on the track, you're smiling and laughing as you're running. This smile, have you always been this way? Just the personality to just always, I'm gonna just smile through everything.
I think so, 100%. It's funny that I was just thinking about that when we were talking at the beginning of like stuff that we did, kind of that pre-combine stuff, and I was running on the track of like, man, I was losing, but I was like, I knew I was pushing, like I was having a good time, like I knew I was getting better, like I was just enjoying the people around me and just learning something new. Because like, shoot, I don't know how many other wide receivers like we're running on the track in their pre-combine stuff. Like we're getting ready and like just building up in a different way, just a different perspective of how to get better. And I enjoyed it. I had a blast. Even though I lost, I didn't like losing. I keeping tabs of me losing, but I'm ready to
But
get
Puka,
back
I
to
will
winning.
say this: you were losing, but people got to put it in the context. You were banged up, your hip, your ankle. So, we trained for a couple weeks. You take a few days off because you were banged up and you were fighting through that. Whereas everybody else, they weren't taking days off because their bodies was so you had a little nick even going into the combine. You were
Yeah.
banged up. Going into your pro day, you were banged up. And not many people know these things. And it's like, I gotta still go run this 40 because this is what they want to see. But you weren't 100% at any point heading up to that. And so I knew that, you knew it. And so we got to put that, oh, he ran this as a 40. You probably would have run a lot faster had you been able to train like everybody else for the 3.5 months that they trained for it.
Yeah. 100%.
And so let's put that in context. But Sean McVay says he has a champagne problem. The champagne problem is now he has Cooper Kupp and he has Puka. How was it the first 4 weeks of the season playing without Cooper Kupp until now, this past Sunday, playing the Eagles with Cooper Kupp? Tell me that dynamic, how it was with and without him.
I guess without him, just like going in there and like getting the coaching points from like the game plan from offensive coordinator from Coach McVay and like from Coach Yarbs, the receivers coach, and then like getting like the live coaching points from Coop during the game of like, okay, he's seeing the coverage, he's getting the iPad just as quickly as we are, but somebody who's taking the live reps and like currently against these teams, he's like in the meetings, he's got the notes and notes, so like go out there and be like, okay, I saw him give you soft press coverage right here, like that's or let's work this release, like, and then like he's like, okay, he's bailing out there, so there's no reason to even give him a release. Just push, like, just run off the line of scrimmage, like. So the little like in-game nuances that I was able to pick up from him made the game so much easier. And then being out there on Sunday with him was like, I didn't notice it until we came on the sideline one time. He's like, hey, they're putting Bradbury and Slay in the middle of the field, waiting for y'all two to line up. Slay going with Coop, Bradbury going with you, Poop. Like, we know we're kind of, it's like the ability to like dictate coverage, and it's like, wait, is this real? Like, it's happening. Like, it makes the game a little bit easier because, like, okay, this guy following me, number 24, following me all the way around the field. Like, he's gonna either have some type of help, but I know he's man to man coverage. Like, so if I cross his face, like, I'm expecting to get that ball. Like, how much the game became a little bit more simplified with him out there.
And for you to say the game has become simplified, you've only played 5 games. The fact that you're able to process, you're able to understand what the defense is doing. Have you, and you probably haven't, have you had a welcome to the NFL type of moment, whether it was training camp, preseason game, or in the first 5 weeks?
Yeah, in the Seattle game, the first game we had a run play where I'm starting on, we're in a 2-by-2 set, and I'm pulling like I'm a post snap puller like to the front side of the play, and I'm like, and there's a tackle pulling in front of me, so I'm like, okay, I'm the coaching point is follow the tackles, but as soon as if he gets cross face, you got to roll on the outside of it. If you see his butt, that means you cutting up inside to make that block. And I'm just the whole time I'm like, okay, I'm peeking what's on the backside. I'm looking. I'm like kind of trying not to make it obvious. And I see the tackle pool, so I'm like, okay, now I'm in a full speed sprint. As soon as I turn my head to like look laterally, like to the sideline, like as if I was looking at our own team. The D tackle, boom, wiped me right off my feet. I'm inside. I'm looking up at the sky now. I'm like, what just happened? Like in point 0.2 seconds, like my feet are up in the air. I'm looking at the sky. I'm just like bouncing off the ground. I'm like, what in the world just happened? Like the point 0.2 seconds, it was that fast. So he put me on my butt so quick, and I was like, wow. I was unprepared for that. I thought I knew what was going on. I thought I ID'd the picture, like, and it was just he took me right off my feet. It was that easy for him.
So, not many people know this. They probably do now because people have researched and Googled who Puka is. I knew about you before you knew about me, obviously, because one of your college coaches was a college teammate of mine. And people don't know this, Puka. You were highly touted coming out of high school. Like, you were that dude. You commit to USC. Obviously, you don't attend USC. You go to University of Washington, coached by Junior Adams, one of the best receiver coaches in college football. And then you transfer to BYU, and we'll get into why you did that as well. But coming out of high school, you were so highly thought of. Did it kind of bother you now coming out of BYU that you didn't have the same acclaim as you did as when you were coming out of high school?
I A little bit. I guess I view it differently because like as being a wide receiver and having people around me like be realistic with me and be real. Like, hey, like what I did. Obviously, the level of football had changed from going from high school to college. But like, okay, when high school, like just like you said, like I feel like I was on top. I felt great. I was feeling like I was the best in the world. Like I was proving it. When you looked at my numbers and what I was doing on the field, like you could put it up there with the best of the best. But when I to the next level, I wasn't able to perform in that. So it's like it was a mental note, but it was also like a moment of like reality hitting. Like, dang, I feel like I feel like I am the best in the world, but I also haven't done like proven that. So there was no reason for anybody to kind of be like believe that. It was all just kind of noise, like talk. It was noise to them, but it was real talk to me.
Let's talk your quarterback, Matthew Stafford. I met Matthew Stafford when he was at the University of Georgia. This is how old I am. Damn. And I was in the league, and I went to an Elite 11 camp that Nike had put on, and I saw Matthew Stafford. He remembers this as well. I said, "Bro, you're gonna be the first pick of the draft." He was like, "You really think so?" I said, "Yeah, you're that." He was so shocked by that, and I seen him a couple years later, and he recalled that conversation that we had. He remembered that because I think he said I was probably the first person that told him that. I just thought he threw the ball that well. So early this offseason, his wife comes out and says, "Oh, Matthew is having a hard time connecting with his younger teammates because they're so much younger than he is." Tell me the relationship that you two have.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it took a while 'cause, like from OTAs, like I got invited in the summertime. Like I got a text from one of our strength coaches. Not even, I mean, it wasn't even from Matthew, but it's like, hey, Matthew wants you to be out there in the morning, like to catch balls. So I'm like, shoot, I'm so excited. Like I'm geeked. One of the other rookies got invited, so when he was my roommate while we're staying in the hotel, I'm like, yo, we got to go out there and run the best routes on the air like you've ever put on in your life, like. Um, but it kind of it built from there, like the conversation of like just being strictly about football. Like, hey, you can run this out route better. Like, I want you to break down, and like I need you to give eyes there. So like, if we're running this in the timing of the play, but then like questions of like, what was it like at BYU? Like, and then like, what was it? He's like, I just try to understand. Like, I guess me as like outside of football, but the question he's so smart. But the questions he asks are like he's not asking you like super vanilla stuff to kind of, he really wants you to like explain yourself like our conversation, I guess, went on surface level. He really wants to get to know you. Like after he noticed that I was going to be around for a little while, like he was like, okay, it's time to get to know you then.
Once he sees that you can play, it's like, he gonna be here for a while. So
Yeah.
I, all the smiling, and I tell people this: these Polynesians, they the nicest people in the world. Just don't piss them off. We gonna smile. When I say we, that means you Polynesians, but we about our business. When you're playing, are you talking shit? You trash talking during the game, or you just out there playing?
No, I'm not really talking trash unless somebody says something to me. But some of the Colts linebackers they were talking a little bit of trash. They brought the physicality, so they backed it up. But we ended up winning, so it's all fun.
Oh, so they were out there talking, and did you get it? You was talking your shit right back, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I can't let somebody get those words off for free.
Okay. Puka, let's touch on something. You lost your father when you were 11 years old. You got a big family, a lot of siblings, a lot of older brothers that played football. I believe you're the second youngest. You have a younger brother as well, correct?
Correct.
Accomplishing what you've accomplished in a short time that you've been in the league, how do you think your father would react to his baby boy doing what he's doing?
I would, I can only imagine him with a big smile, but also that he'd be the first one to critique me in my run game. I feel like the physicality was something that he tried to instill to me and all my siblings at a young age in our culture, especially playing the game of football. And those plays where I think of like I got put on my butt a couple times, like those are the ones he's gonna be like the touchdown and all those stuff. He's like those are. I know he would be happy and excited for me, but me getting put on my butt, those are the ones he'd be like, we ain't letting that happen again.
How have your mother, and because I know in the pre-draft process, you was like your mom would get on your ass at times. She'd be tough on you. She'd love you. And how are they, your mother, your brothers, your immediate family, handling the success that has come your way? And Puka is pretty much, like I said earlier, a household name now.
I think for my mom, it's been kind of crazy. I guess just like looking from our high school recruiting journey to where we are now, and just like the messages she gets from people. She says my mom just got Twitter, so she's not like big in the social media game. So everybody's sending her this LeBron stuff, and she's like, "Is this real? Like, is this a scam? Like, are there people playing with us?" And then she finally turned on like I guess she saw it on Sports Center, or it's like somebody sent her like a ESPN news card of them saying it. So she's like, "It's true, Puka. Like, LeBron really said your name." Like. So like that stuff is super cool, but I guess my siblings are just getting used to like their little brother, like everybody talking to them about their little brother. My whole life it was like Puka, tell me about Kai, tell me about Samson, tell me about Puka, like tell me about Chanel, like. But now it's like their turn to tell about me, so it's cool for me. But I guess it's been weird for them, I guess, a little bit.
Speaking of social media, I guarantee you've had some crazy messages now that you've arrived. Give me the craziest message that somebody has sent you since you've gotten into the league.
um, there was once somebody left a comment on one of the Instagram posts of like it was it was somebody while I was at BYU. They left a comment like, "You'll never make it to the NFL. Like you suck at playing wide receiver." And ever since then, like people who like since my social media has blown up, like people go back and have found that comment and they're commenting back to that person. They're like, "Look at how dumb you look." Like it's not even he said like I guess he did say it to me, but I think that's the funniest one. People are going back like this comment was made in almost 2 years ago. Like we played USC and I posted a picture and we won. And like he commented after, but people going back after him, I almost feel bad. Like it's foul. Like let it go. It's all right. We made it past.
Puka, to be drafted 177th overall, how much did that bother you?
Uh, uh, a lot. I guess in like I I wouldn't say bothered, but in the sense of it felt like I let my people my support system down, and like I'm pursuing my goal and trying to prove that I'm the best, and like other people didn't believe it. So it was more of a disappointing feeling than bothering. Of like, I let the people who believe and have sacrificed for me, and like I let them down in that sense.
Do you, of course, and I'm sure you guys are good friends, but everything we do is a competition as we preach. Mike was drafted ahead of you. Do you look at all the guys, or do you have an idea of all the guys drafted ahead of you? And it's like, yeah, I'm going to outperform each and every one of you. And even the ones that you are friendly with, we can be boys, but I'm going to outperform your ass. Is it that type of mentality each and every time you take the field?
100%, and that's why I think it's cool. Like with being like friends with Mike, like just receivers. Like I try not to be any friends with like some of the DBs, like unless you're on my team. But it's like I want to beat everybody out there. Like I want to feel like I can. I walk out on the field and they're like, "Damn, that guy number 17, like just gave me the best competition I ever have." And like I don't want there to be no buddies. Like we're not friends out there on the football field. Like until the game's over, unless we do some type of jersey swap. But I want to make sure that I go out there and put my best performance so those people recognize that there was something that they did miss out on.
In my opinion, you have the best receiver coach in the league in Eric Yarber. Yarbs was my college coach. We still communicate weekly to this day. What have you learned from him, unlearned from what maybe I have taught you or other coaches have taught you that Yarb has put in perspective? Because I actually, it's funny, somebody sent me a clip of you guys doing a drill that we do or that
Yeah,
we did. And I think, how we go through the cones with our hips.
yeah.
And somebody they sent that to me. And I'm sure you're like, oh, this is what I do with TJ. But what has he given you from a receiver perspective that you just didn't know prior to meeting him? I believe he's the best receiver coach in the league.
I guess the urgency in the run game and how much that affects being able to run good routes. Like I don't know if it's just specifically for our offense, but he's like just coming off the ball, like whether I got a push crack or I got eyes from the corner and I can just run him off and I can steal a free release. Like how much like he emphasizes those moments in practice and like when he sees them in the game, like that's an opportunity for you to steal a rep and to take advantage of somebody who's just like you're kind of almost going through the motions because you can kind of lull them to sleep. Okay, if I know I got like eyes from a corner on a run play, like I'll save my body and just take him out the play. But then I'm like, okay, if there is in the run fit, like how do I steal a release doing this something like I would do in the pass game, but still go get my run assignment done. I think marrying those two things up together has been a huge emphasis from Coach Yarbs.
Week 4, you guys played the Indianapolis Colts, and it looked like it was going to be a blowout. And and then the NFL happens. They competed and they make the game close. You guys go to overtime, and you walk them off with your first touchdown reception in the NFL. How did that feel? And take us through the play call and the coverage that you saw.
Yeah, so we had I had a deep income. We had Tutu coming down the motion, and he's running like a deep over, and I'm running a dig cut right behind him, and seeing like they had done the top hat is like what they call it. So we're thinking like, okay, Tutu's about to get taken off the motion by the nickel who's here pressing me, but then the corner's going to be the one guy I'm running my route off. But they're like coming back to the things that Coach Yarbs, like I'm like, okay, I got to run off the ball. Like it's just like the stuff there. I know that they're gonna switch it, but if I could just make him feel like, okay, I'm about to take the top off, like I'm a clear out route, it'll soften him. They have some miscommunication off the line of scrimmage just with our motion, and I'm like, yo, I'm running free. I can feel it. Like I knocked the nickel's hands down. I'm like, all right, if I make this left right, like the ball is gonna, I hop. I feel like the ball can come to me, and I turn and I can see it, and the ball's like when you're tracking the ball, TJ, like especially like, oh, the ball is telling me to throttle, like it's telling me to sit down. The way it's coming out, like it's not like, oh, it's not like one I'm gonna keep running, I'm gonna run all the way through the catch. So I'm like, I'm catching. I'm like, wait, but I'm open. Like, why would he want me to sit? Like, I can feel it. And then I catch it, turn, and just the end zone's right there with nobody in front of me. I'm like, this is not real. Like, and just like everything, every ounce of energy, like every muscle I had in my fiber, like was like get in the end zone, and then just screaming and seeing like all the linemen hit me in the face. Everybody's screaming. I'm seeing people run on the field like they're going to Matthew. So I'm like, is the game even over? And then like I see our trainer, like one of our trainers slaps me in the head, like, and he's like celebrating us. I'm like, oh, the game gotta be over now. Like, and then like that second rush of emotion was like, I ended up just turning around and I freaking launched that ball freaking into the third level of the freaking seats.
And that was your first touchdown. It's a game winner. So Puka, this is all I'm gonna tell you. And we've had plenty of conversations. Anybody that trains with me, we train and then we just talk about football and life. I'm proud of you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, because if you do not, everybody will talk about, man, you remember that kid Puka that had the great start to his rookie season and then he just fizzled out? You're going to have staying power. You're going to be one of the best receivers to ever play if you continue to do what you're doing. Believe in yourself. Always have confidence in yourself. But you got to put the work in. If you don't put the work in, none of this stuff matters. I appreciate you hopping on with us, man. But more than anything, continue success. And just so you know, I do a top 5 receivers. As soon as we get done, I'm going to do a top 5 receivers. And just so you know, Puka, you've been in my top 5 pretty much the whole season.
Hey,
And
that's love.
it's not just, it's the top 5 receivers in the league, not the top 5 receivers of the week. The top 5 receivers in the league. And just so you know, you might not see it, but you're going to have another spot in TJ's top 5 because you're
I
getting
love
it
that.
done, Coop. I appreciate you, Puka, man. Continue success. Stay healthy. Take care of yourself, boy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, TJ, for having me. Much love always.
Yes, sir.